In this day and age, there should be no reason why you should have to battle a slice. Today, I want to talk to you about how you might go about managing your slice, that shot that ends up having just a little bit too much left to right in the sky. With technology, golf clubs, their head weighting and their shafts are really good at starting to reduce the amount of bend in the sky. When you've got yourself a slice, easy for me to say, a couple of things are going to take energy off your golf ball. You're going to either have too much spin or too much loft of the golf club. Both of those things will reduce ball speed and make you feel like you haven't got enough energy in your body, in your golf club. And at that point, you then have quite a few poor ingredients that will really make you move in an inefficient way. Today, I've got 3 tips for you that are going to help you reduce your fade, reduce your slice, and make you a little bit more powerful. The first one, top of the pile, is how you hold the golf club. And I know if you're a regular viewer of my content, you may get a little bit peeved with me going on about that, but please go out and check that video. This is it video on how to place your left hand on the golf club. I always liken it to creating a press up. The pressure that you're putting on the handle is absolutely akin to how you should feel the golf club move through strike. That pressure down on the handle that's coming from the shoulder can only be placed on the top of the golf club if the hand is in the right place on the lead hand. And that kink that we see in here is crucial to being able to apply the pressure, which will invariably give you more shaft lean, which means that that club face will try to open up. And if you're creating that ingredient at impact, you'll need a good grip to do it. So that absolutely top of the pile is the one ingredient that I would recommend all of you to go ahead and check out if you want to reduce that slice and get it a little bit straighter. TrackMan did get the data. It looks a little bit like that. So once you've got your grip in a good place, and I've heard a few people say, I've changed the grip, but I've still got a prolific slice. Now, you could have a really good grip, a really good club face, but if you've got a rising up handle, it will really open the face up. And that can come from being a little bit too much inside out. So this second tip, tip number 2, is how we really reduce that handle lift in a very surefire way. Take your trail hand and pop it underneath your lead armpit and make some swings where you go 1/3 of the way back and you swing all of the way through. And what you're looking to do here is trap that trail arm under your lead armpit. And as you sense that, what you'll start to feel is how that left forearm starts to externally rotate, and you'll start to feel that shoulder sit down. What I then want you to do is go into the shot, hit me a shot in exactly the same way, feeling exactly the same thing, where you feel that left arm sit down. And what you'll end up doing is starting to see a little less bend in the sky. Now, if you were to do that with a weak hold and actually make that same move, you might still see yourself a little bit of a fade to the right because the grip's not quite right. But what you will do is start to reduce that fade. And that's what this video is about. It's about living with the fade, the slice, and reducing it to some degree. That left shoulder will respond to where that left elbow wants to go. And if you've been a little inside out, that'll open up the face. So get that trail hand, pop it underneath your lead arm, and make some through swings and really start to feel how that left shoulder should sit down. That's tip number 2. Give that a try. Tip number 3 is really now starting to think about where that ball is being met in the circle. All too often when someone is a slicer of the golf ball, they're always trying to get the club face back to square, and what you end up happening, or what ends up happening, is that you have no angle of attack or very light angles of attack. Because you're throwing that club head away, you're really pushing that path from outside in at 8 degrees. And the only reason why that angle of attack says it's 4.8 down is because that club head was coming so high because it was so cast. There was no real handle lean through strike, as you can see on the video there. So what I want to do is really start to allow this golf ball to be met later in the arc. And the reason why I reference the angle of attack is that when golfers have no angle of attack, golf balls tend to get pushed back in the stance in an effort to hit down. And then once you start hitting more down, the slice starts to occur, then you get more inside out, and you start to go down this absolute dark hole that is making your golf worse. So what I want you to do, apply the grip, apply that lead arm feeling with the trail hand underneath, and then in at number 3, with that ball further forwards in your stance, I then want you to aim everything to the right. Shoulders, hips, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes to the right with the ball further forwards. And then what I want you to sense is that same feeling that we were just doing with the trail arm, with the trail hand and the lead arm, and feeling how low you can feel in that through swing. And what all of a sudden you'll do is you'll start to meet the ball later in the arc, which gives you a chance to get the golf club swinging around, and you'll start to really create some decent bend of the golf ball in the sky. All of a sudden the path has gone 16 from the inside out. Now the only reason why that's happened is because I've moved all of the circle and aimed it up to the right. But what I'm actually trying to do is strike in this part of the circle, just here, so that I actually start to meet the golf ball on the way back in of the full circle that I've got in front of me. I don't want to hit it in this area of the circle. I want to start to hit it in this area of the circle. And by doing that, it gives me the best possible chance of getting the club face closing over with the good grip and that good shoulder height. Once I've done that a few times, what I then want you to do is now drag the golf ball back in your stance and start to aim a little bit straighter. And with that same feeling of the club swinging in and around you, and that left arm, that left shoulder, that left arm lower, what you'll end up feeling is that you can now start to get that ball with a little bit more right to left spin in the sky. And if you don't get right to left, as you can see, you'll certainly reduce your face to path value. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. Which is ultimately the ingredient that's telling you how much you bend the ball to the right or to the left. The face to path value, if it's a negative value, the ball bends left. If the face to path value is a positive value, the ball bends right. So all of our job here has been about reducing that face to path value in its positive value and moving it back to 0 or even negative. I'm more than confident that both the grip, the lead arm and shoulder drill, and that ball position drill, moving it forwards, aiming right and swinging around, I'm beyond confident that one of those 3, or if all 3 are applied, you'll be bending the ball to the left, but you'll certainly be reducing the slice in the sky. I hope this has added some value to your game. I want to pay a big shout out to people like Gary Satterfield, Road to Scratch, Doug, big commenters on my channel. I really appreciate them. And if you have enjoyed this, do give it a comment, share what you think, and I'd love to hear from you. I hope you've enjoyed. I think you'll find, my friends, that is good coaching.